And getting that stretch to start, it's going to be a great thing. Feeling the hamstrings loosen, feeling your low back loosen a little bit. And then as you're here, shift your weight to your toes, leaning forwards a little bit. And you can then let your hands come down. Toes to the floor. Make some small circles with your arms. Going in one direction for pendulums. Let your shoulders hang and then switch directions. And then go the other way. Letting your arms hang, changing the direction. Okay. Now let's shift the weight back to your heels. See how that changes your balance, almost even lifting up your toes with a nice long flat back. Okay. As we do this, come back to your pendulums again. If you're sitting back into your heels, switch directions, go the other way. All right, and then making some circles in each direction. All right, and then let's go ahead and we're gonna just bring ourselves up tall. Feel yourself squeeze the glutes as you come up tall. Imagine your hips and pelvis as a bucket, lifting the front of the hips and pelvis up, tilting the bucket, pouring the water out of the back of the bucket. Then, as you do that, squeeze the glutes, reach up with just your right arm as high as you can. And it really takes the time and slowing things down to feel what your hips and pelvis are doing as you do this. So you're squeezing your glutes to get the bucket to tilt backwards. Try switching to the other side and same thing, squeeze that left glute, reach up high with your left arm and feel like you're trying to tilt the water out of the back of the bucket. And then we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna take both arms, reach up as high as you can. As you're doing this, see if you can almost reach backwards as well to open your abdominals. The last stretch we did, we were stretching our hamstrings and our low back. Now we want to open our abdominals and our hips the opposing side. If you're tightening one side, you're loosening the other side. All right, so opening our hips here, opening up. See if your back feels it. See if your abdominals feel it. Remembering that you want to hold these stretches longer than you think you need to. And that's hard if you're as impatient as I am. What's important is holding your stretches longer than you think you need to because your muscles can settle in to relax there. Let's take the arms, just bring them back slowly behind you as if you're making a slow motion arm circle. Feel the stretch coming to your pecs, shoulders, and then let your arms fall down by your sides. You'll feel that through your shoulders and your pecs, all through here. Let's do that one more time. We're gonna take both arms now. Bring both arms up, palms facing forward, reaching forward, opening the abdominals now. As you do this, try to tilt your bucket forward. Let your abdominals fall down as you reach up. Let your pelvis tilt forwards. Instead of tilting backwards, actively think about our hips and our pelvis. So you're thinking about what are my hips and pelvis doing on every stretch here. All right. Now, slow motion arm circle backwards, pinching your shoulder blades. As you come back, it should be slow and hopefully painful if your shoulders are as tight as mine. And that's why it's important to stretch so that you can get that slow motion and feel what's tight. Then we can circle back to it and try to loosen those things up. Helping loosen those shoulders. Make some circles with your shoulder blades, raising the awareness of what your shoulder blades are doing. Remembering, shoulder blades can come up, in and back, and then down. Up, in and back, and down. So you're thinking about your shoulder blades more than anything else here. Getting the mobility all through your shoulder blades. That'll translate into mobility and looseness in your neck as well. All right. And that's super important to keep thinking about how you're going to try to stretch out your shoulder blades. Okay? Getting those shoulder blades to move freely. Now let's go to another one of my favorite stretches here. Wide feet. Go as wide as you possibly can. We're going to hit the triangle pose where you're going to lean down with that left side and up with your right arm, trying to keep your good alignment, letting this left hand fall down your leg, right arm up and across, as far across as you can. So you should feel this through your hip again and into your abdominals. Okay? Very important to feel where you want to stretch. Know what you're trying to stretch. And you'll also try to keep your alignment, imagining that you're in between two panes of glass. One pane of glass in front of you, one behind you. Staying perfectly aligned so that that hip can get more stretch. Come up to our neutral position. Feel if that side is a little looser as we go to the other side. Again, find your alignment. Come over and across. Big stretch. Reaching and leaning. Abdominals, hips, and maybe even into your low back if your low back is tight here. Holding each one of these stretches longer than we think we need to. 30 to 45 seconds for each stretch is about what we're shooting for. So you can set a timer and use that timer if you want to, or just start to feel it. 3 real deep breaths helps you get that movement. Take a deep breath, come back to our neutral point, and with our feet real wide again, let's do that one we did at the beginning where we just hinge in at our hips. And in doing that, you're keeping your back long and flat. Leaning in, feel that stretch into your hamstrings first, and then a neutral neck, a long spine, and then let your arms hang. And we're gonna make some circles, pendulums in one direction with your arms. Let the back of your shoulders fall. So your shoulder blades will be falling outwards. And then switch directions with your arms. Again, 3 deep breaths while you're doing these stretches. And that's probably about 30 to 45 seconds when you take 3 deep breaths. Let's go ahead and we're gonna stand back up. And then we're gonna reach up again. Now on this one, let's try to think about tilting your bucket forwards, tilt your bucket backwards. Pelvic awareness while you're stretching. So, stretching your shoulders with your arms high, tilt the bucket forwards, tilt the bucket backwards. So it's all with your hips and pelvis going forwards and backwards. Relaxing your glutes, stretching your hips and pelvis, and then squeeze the glutes. Open and pelvis. So you're getting your hip and pelvis to move, mobility through your hips and pelvis. While we're trying to stretch the shoulders by keeping your arms high. One more time, we're gonna come downwards. Hamstrings first. Leaning in so your hamstrings get a stretch, keep your back long. Let your arms hang. And keeping your back flat, let your shoulders make those circles. Go as big as you can. Try to get those arms to make big circles, letting your shoulders fall and letting this back of your shoulders stretch, letting gravity do some of the work here. And that really helps you get a back stretch as well as a back of your shoulder stretch. Switch directions with your pendulums, alternating, breathing, stretching, breathing, stretching. We bring ourselves back up again. As you get up and down, think about each vertebrae in your back being independent and moving independently. With our feet still wide, we're going to go ahead and reach down with your left hand, that triangle pose. The outside hand reaches down. Feel the stretch through your obliques your hip flexors, your IT band, and then come over and across. And try to keep your arm long as you come up and across, reaching high with your arms, elbows straight, working your entire obliques, lengthening your body that way. And with the elbows straight, you're going to find that your palm will stay forward more, and you'll get better alignment through your hips, your pelvis, and into your legs and obliques. All those good stretches. Let's come back to our neutral point. And then repositioning yourself, feeling what you just loosened. Coming up, right hand down, left arm nice and straight. Reaching up, straight arm, over, across, the straighter, the greater. And reaching across. And getting that big stretch. Toes are pointed forward, so that also helps your alignment. And you're trying to get that hip on the left side, obliques on the left side, maybe even into your low back on the left side. We're going to do this whole series of stuff, stretching, standing up, and then we're going to sit down and do some stuff on the ground. Let's come back to our neutral point, and we're going to make our arm circles. So open up your abdominals. So try to arch your back almost. So you're opening your abdominals, and then we're going to reach up, palms in. And then as you circle around, you're going to rotate your hands and bring your palms out, stretching your shoulders as you come around. Palms in and up, out, around, and back. Feel the stretches through your shoulders and your pecs. 3 or 4 more of those while you're breathing. Take a deep breath in while your arms are up and your lungs will open. Deep breath in. Exhale as you let your arms fall. 2 more. That in itself is a good energy booster mid-afternoon if you get tired or if you're sitting at a desk a lot. Bringing our arms out. We're going to take our left hand and come down as much as you can towards your right. Your right arm can come up and back behind you, or you can even let it fall behind you, bending your elbow, letting it come back. Find whatever you can do to play with your stretch. Lean into it. We don't want to bounce, but we do want to lean into it and see how far you can come into that stretch without bending your knees to compensate. And you can stretch your right arm with it high, or you can put it back behind you. If you have shoulder problems, I would just put it behind you. Breathe while you're there. And then slowly and deliberately come back to your neutral point, standing up. That'll get the glutes and hamstrings. Right arm is going to come across and down. Again, if you have shoulder problems and you want to bring that arm in, you can do that. See how far you can come into that stretch without bending your joints more than they already are right now. Deep breaths as you're exhaling. Try to dive a little further into the stretch without bouncing. It feels so good to stretch the hamstrings and the low back. We'll have tight low backs, tight hamstrings. Let's come back up to our neutral point after we've taken 3 breaths there. Now let's bring our feet in just another 6 inches or so. So our feet are just outside shoulder width. I like to toe heel it to come back in. Now, what we're going to try to do is we're going to shift our weight. If you're a golfer, this is a good one. We're going to take our weight and we're going to try to keep our feet planted firmly, toes pointed forward. Shift your weight to your right leg and rotate to the right. You should feel the stretch in your left hip, okay? You can even take your right arm and bring it around, left arm in front of you. Feel the stretch in that left hip. maybe into your low back. Deep breath in. Exhale, reach into it a little more. Reach forward a little more. Again, left hip, feeling some of that stretch. Slowly come back to our neutral point. All right, and then we're gonna do the same thing the other way. Shift your weight to your left leg. You can bring your left arm back, right arm around, reaching and rotating, slow and deliberate, stretching your right hip. This is a good one as a warm-up for a hike, game of golf, bike ride, a run, or swimming. Coming around, getting that stretch. And then we're gonna come back to our neutral point. I like to keep coming back to the focus of our bucket. So try to drop your bucket forward, tilting it forward, stretch your hamstrings. Feel that hamstring stretch. And why that's important is so that you can become more aware of what your bucket is doing. All right? And then come up and let's try to tilt that bucket backwards. Open the front of your hips and pelvis. Let your hands come down behind your legs even as you try to open your bucket. You're gonna try to reach down to the back of your knees, opening the front of your hips and pelvis. There's a lot of good lower body work so far, okay? So you're getting that hip stretch. And then we're gonna come back to our neutral point. Bring your feet in even closer so they're right next to each other, okay? And then when you're here, you can try to start to think about upper body posture. Do you have a good alignment with your back and your shoulders? Can you do a chin tuck? Thinking of your alignment to your body, pull our shoulder blade back. Is one side tighter or looser than the other? Pinch the shoulder blades in, opening the front of your shoulders. Tuck your chin and try to elongate the back of your cervical spine. Spread your fingers out. Exhale. And relax. Just go to a natural body positioning, okay? Deep breath in, lifting your chest, and then exhale. Tuck your chin. As you deep breath in on this one, spread your fingertips out. Ready? Deep breath in. Long neck, long cervical spines. You're tucking your chin and then dropping your shoulders. Exhale. Let's try that again. So all together on this one, you're going to take a deep breath in, lift the shoulders, tuck your chin, elongate your neck, open your hands, and then exhale. Let your shoulders fall. We'll do a few more like that. So you go deep breath in, open up, lift back, open your hands. And you're really trying to spread your fingers out as much as you can. Deep breath in. And then exhale one last time. Deep breath in. Open your fingers. And then exhale. That opens our chest. It opens your spine by tucking your chin. And it's such an important transition in your day to get us away from tech neck. All right, so let's go ahead and reach our right hand up. And we're gonna get our balance again here, our posture, our alignment. When you're here with your hips, try to drop the right hip down and see if you can feel that stretch through your right hip. Up real long with your right hand. Reach down with your left hand and stretch the right hip. Is your hip going forwards? Is your hip going backwards? Or is it staying aligned as you reach up high? And then let's go ahead and bring your hands down, feel that stretch. Let's go to the other side. Left arm up as high as you can. and reach down with that right hand and feel your hip again here as we're aligning our body. The reason this is nice is because when you're doing it standing, you can feel it more. When you're on the ground, your hips and glutes can stick to the floor. So it's nice to do some of these standing. And also you can open your shoulder more here. Let's go ahead and bring that side back down. Again, getting your alignment, your hips, your posture, your back. Is everything feeling good? Let's take our right arm, bring it up high, and then bend your elbow and reach into the middle of your back. Okay? Try to reach down to your right shoulder blade with your right hand. If you can't reach that shoulder blade, your shoulders might just be tight. That's a good homework exercise, trying to work on that flexibility. Here's how we're gonna do it next. We're gonna take the left hand, reach up, and then try to stretch that right shoulder by pushing your hand and elbow down just a little bit. So you're pushing that elbow down to get more stretch out of that shoulder and tricep group on the right side. Couple deep breaths while you're there. Don't forget to smile. We love stretches. It's always key. And then we're gonna come back to our neutral point. Just let your arms come down to your sides, palms facing in, feel your shoulders, your neck, nice and loose. Let's go to the left side, reaching up as high as you can. Feel that shoulder blade get engaged. And then we're gonna take your right hand, and as you reach down to your left shoulder blade, on the other side, take the right hand and just give it a little boost. Boosting that stretch, more stretch in your elbow and in your triceps and in your shoulders. Just a little more cowbell. One of my favorite SNL skits right there. And you're pushing it down, breathing. And the breathing is the big key there. Awesome. Come back to our neutral point. Let's do those chin tucks. We're gonna go for 4 more. Deep breath in, lift up your shoulders, pull those shoulder blades back, opening our hands, and then exhale. That's one. We'll get 3 more. Deep breath in, open your hands, tuck your chin, create space in the back of your spine, and relax as you exhale. That's 2. One more time. Deep breath in. Exhale. And one more time for good luck. Deep breath in. Opening up your hands, pinching your shoulder blades together, tucking your chin. Let your shoulders fall as you exhale. Good. So that's a good homework exercise. You can keep doing that one on your own. Taking our left arm, reaching it down. See how far you can reach on this left side without losing your alignment through your hips, your pelvis, and your shoulders. Can you pull your right shoulder back as you do that? Exposing this hip, stretching your back a little bit. And we're going to come back to our neutral point and do the same on the right side. Start with just reaching down. See if that hip is as tight as the left or the opposite. You want to see if your hips are tight now. Try to take that left shoulder, bring it back a little bit. Feel that stretch. So you'll see I'm a little off alignment when I bring that shoulder back. Opening my hip, trying to get that stretch through the hip. And then you'll get to feel it through your triceps one more time. We're gonna do a tricep stretch while we're standing one more time, then we're gonna take it to the ground. So let's go up high with your right arm. Reach in and see if you can reach further into your shoulder blade this second time around. Do you feel a little further down on that shoulder blade? Then we'll take our left arm and bring it up and in and try to stretch the triceps and shoulder blades. And that is a great way to get a little loose in the day. Using computers, technology, and our arms, we get tired. We gotta stretch them. Let's come up and out of that one, finding our neutral point, and then up with that left arm as high as you can. Great alignment, and then reach it in. Try to hit your shoulder blade on that left side. See what your range of motion is, and then pull it down to get a good stretch all through that left shoulder. That's awesome. It feels so good to stretch in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. Taking time for you, stretching. This helps loosen up the muscles a little bit, alleviate stress too. All right, so let's come up again out of that one and back to our neutral point. We're gonna take it down to the ground. Now, taking it down to the ground, if you wanna continue to get your stretches while you do that, you can just keep your legs straight, lean in, and try to walk yourself down as if you're doing an inchworm exercise. The inchworm is kind of where you go like this, and then push your heels into the floor. Okay? Just coming down to the ground. Comfortable. I'm going in slow motion. What my body is doing. And I'm just coming down to the ground. The whole point of our stretching workouts is to think about what your body is doing. Consciously thinking about, what am I stretching? What's tight? What do I need to stretch more? So we're going to come down to our tailbone, our tuchus, our bum, our butt, whatever you want to call it. It's your world, okay? Taking our right leg, all right, bringing it over the left, just good tall posture with your upper body. We're going to just pull it across your body. So the key here is pulling this knee, your right knee, across to the left shoulder and up. So you can stretch the glute on that right side. That's what we're trying to do here, okay? Pulling up and across, and take a few deep breaths. If you're not getting a lot of stretch out of that, pull up a little higher, adjusting by using your right arm to get that right side to come up and across more. The left side is kind of helping with support, or you can pull with your left hand. Taking those 3 deep breaths. It's going to be a great day ahead, especially after taking time to breathe. So now we're going to take this right foot and plant it firmly on the ground. And then we're going to just slowly put your right hand behind you and left elbow on the outside of that right knee, and then look around the bend. So you're stretching again through your glute, your hip, and into your low back. Keeping your shoulder relaxed. Look around the bend. A few deep breaths. Breathing is always good. And then we're going to come back to our neutral point. We're going to go one more time, taking this right leg, bringing it up and across, pulling it up and across while you're here for a second set of that. Because the glute stretch loosens our glutes, which will then translate into a looser low back. Especially if we sit on our glutes all day, we want to loosen them. So let's go ahead and we're going to put both feet out in front of us. Wiggle your toes back towards you. Bring your toes back. Feel the stretch in your calves and in the back of your ankles as you tighten your shins, okay? And then toes down and away from you. So you're stretching your shins and ankles. Our ankles are where our legs touch the ground first, right? Our feet and then our ankles are first joint. Let's come back. So we want to make sure to stretch those ankles. And then one more time, toes away from you. And then back one more time, toes towards you. And we're gonna go back to the legs, taking the left leg, bringing it over the right. Pull that knee in. Pull that knee across your body. Deep breaths, 3 of them. We'll give you about 30 seconds of stretching and breathing, getting you in that mindset of slowing it down to stretch. Making that mind and body connection to breathe and relax. And then we're going to go ahead and put that foot down to the ground. Left foot outside right knee. Left arm comes back behind you. You might even feel a little stretch in that left shoulder. And then rotate around slowly. Right elbow outside left knee as you look around the bend. And take 3 deep breaths. Breathing is so important. It's such an important part of our day. We can't live without it, and it makes you feel so much better. And then we're going to come back to our knee pull, lifting it up and across your body. One more time, stretching the glute, pulling it up and across. Getting that big stretch. Taking time to breathe as you pull it up and across. Deep breaths. And then we're going to go ahead, we're going to put our feet back down, and we're going to take the toes, bring the toes back up towards your face with your arms. Let your arms come back, and then lift your chest, pulling your shoulder blades back and in. Feel the stretch in your shoulders, and then point your toes back to your face. Feel the stretch in the back of your calves, and the back of your knees. Tucking your chin, feeling it into your neck and your shoulders again. And then pulling your toes back, feeling the stretch in the back of your calves, behind your knees. Right now, point your toes away from you and relax your shoulders and arms. Feeling that stretch in your shins. Relaxing your arms a little bit, feeling your upper body stay nice and tall here. Keeping your upper body tall. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good work. Okay, we're going to go to the figure 4, which is one of my favorite stretches. To do this, you're going to want to make sure you can lay back nice and flat. Hands reach through with your right hand. Another good thing you can do while you're here is to pull them up and stretch out your low back. Again, you can wiggle your ankles and toes. And then you can pull up to the left and the right, pull up to the right, to the left. Okay. Then we're going to take our left leg and straighten it out. Put the right here. Very important to let your head stay up. There's some stretch. And then reach through. Right elbow on the inside of your right. From me. Taking some time. One more time. Stretching your low back. You can wiggle your toes a little bit if you want to. And that really helps loosen things up a little bit. And then we're going to get one last stretch before we stand up. So from here, you can gently rock yourself back up. Left leg out in front of you, right foot in. This is good for our hamstrings and our low back. The modified hurdler stretch. Staying tall with your upper body, just leaning forward. Stretch out your hamstrings and your low back. See how far you can reach down with your left hand to that left foot. We did a lot of posterior chain muscle stretches today and a lot of hip stretches. Hopefully this helps you feel great for the day. And it's a great series for hiking, golfing, skiing, biking. And now make a note. Where's your hand on your shoe? And where's your alignment? Let's go to the other side. We're gonna just match up our feet and switch to the other side. Left foot in towards the right, reaching forward. Is the right side tighter than the left? Is there a difference in what your foot is doing? Do you feel a difference in your hip, in your hamstrings? Only you know, but that's why when you slow it down and feel it and listen to it, you will know. Excellent job breathing. And as you exhale on these, you can reach forward just a little bit more. And that helps loosen up the hamstrings and the lower back. And then we're gonna go ahead and just walk ourselves slowly back out of that and come up to our feet, and we'll finish standing. Again, as you're going from the floor to standing, think about stretching. So I'm gonna push my feet into the ground as I get up, and I'm gonna try to stretch out my hamstrings and my calves and Achilles and see if anything is looser now than it was when we started. You can get up however you feel comfortable, but what's important is that you're listening to your body as you get up and down, because that's a good exercise in itself. Finishing strong just by reaching up, grounding your feet, feeling as your weight to the center of your feet, to the outside, inside. Reach up as high as you can. Take a deep breath in. Fill your lungs with good air and exhale. Let's do 2 more of those. Deep breath in and exhale. And one last time. Deep breath in and exhale. And then slowly let your arms fall down. You guys did awesome. Way to keep stretching, and that'll allow your muscles to keep getting stronger and help you be active for your life.